Hello, folks. Welcome back to the program. It's Chris live in central Pennsylvania once again for another one of our series of interviews with recent arrivals from South Africa, the South African refugees. I'm going to actually change my background because I just looked at this and it looks very busy next to their very Spartan background. So let me just fix that very quickly. We'll come up with, since I'm wearing blue, we'll use the purple background so that stand out a little bit better. There we go. How's that? It's a little bit better. All right. So my guest today is, if I pronounce it correctly, the Koker family, I believe. And folks, welcome to the program. Can you introduce us to the family there?
Good day, everybody. I'm Christo. This is Krazan, and this is Andries.
Okay.
And Mark is not joining us.
All right. Yeah. Apparently, she's busy saving America from an invasion from Canada or something like that.
Yeah.
So you guys are in Toledo, Christo. Is that correct?
That's correct, Colonel. Yes. We arrived on the 8th of April. Flew out of South Africa on the 7th, and we arrived on the 8th of April.
Did you guys go through Cape Town or Joburg?
We flew from Joburg through to New Jersey, and then from New Jersey to Detroit, and then we had the hour drive from Detroit through to Toledo.
Well, Detroit's one of those old airports. Last time I was through there, it's not one of the nicest. So the drive was probably more pleasant than the Detroit airport. But so welcome to America to you and your family. It's a pleasure to have you join us today. You're very welcome. So you guys, let's talk about some of the basics here before we go any further. I'm going to ask you about your Social Security numbers, your EAD, and things like that, and whether you were greeted by your agency at the airport. What about that? Can you tell us about that, Christo?
My social security number is 772.
No. Funny guy.
Okay, our whole journey started on the 7th of Feb 2025 when my daughter actually saw on TikTok the executive order from President Trump. And I immediately went to your channel because during COVID I followed you through the whole Brendan Horner thing in, I think it was October 2020 or 2021, 2020. And then you disappeared. And I got busy with work again because COVID was over, and then I immediately went to your channel around about the 8th of February. And then on the 12th of Feb, we sent through the PRM email. Didn't hear anything. And from there, we waited until the 12th of May. We did the statement of interest. Didn't hear anything. And then eventually in September, October, around about the 1st of October, I learned that we could do the statement of interest through americaners.com. So I sent the email to them, and they responded and gave us not a case number. It was more like a statement of interest / referral code that they then sent off on our behalf. And then we got a phone call on the 22nd of November to have our pre-screening in Pretoria on the 24th of November. Luckily, we were in Mokopane at that stage, so it wasn't that far. It was about 250 kilometers. And we had our pre-screening interview on the 24th and our USCIS interview on the 26th in Johannesburg, there where the ANC decided to raid them. Luckily, we weren't there when it happened. And from there, we had our medicals on the 6th of December. Andries is 21, so he had a separate case, but we linked the two cases. He had his approval letter from them by the 10th of December. Ours waited a little bit because I used to be a very, very naughty boy. And I had two vehicle accidents in my life. The USCIS case officer was she thought it was funny when I told her both my accidents were in police vehicles. So, yeah, and then I had to do a letter to say that it's, the dates and everything, which I submitted to them. And we received the approval letter on the 3rd or the 4th of February, 2026. Then it was the wait from there. until the 13th of March, where we did our cultural orientation. And then on the 1st of April, April Fool's joke, we got our plane ticket saying we're flying out on the 7th of April.
Wow, that's quite a journey, and obviously it's seared in your memory. I find it interesting that some people, there's such a big journey that they forget when they send things in, but you remember exactly when you did it. It's interesting. He's got a list he's holding up there, which you can't see because I got it on the speaker. But yeah, no, but you've got it there. But those dates you'll remember. But your daughter actually saw this on TikTok. I mean, was this some TikTok content creator that made it, or did somebody steal my content? What's the deal?
It was the official video of the White House showing Donald Trump signing the executive order and explaining what it is. And right after I saw that, I went onto the U.S. government website just to read through the executive order so I can figure out what it is. And right after that, I told my parents, we need to do this.
Well, that's brilliant. So, Christo, you're an OG. Well, at least you were an OG. You surrendered that status by disappearing for a while. But I didn't disappear. YouTube took my channel away, and I created a new one. But I bet you couldn't find me. That's how well they hide people.
Yeah, no, I couldn't find you after that. But I immediately thought when I saw what was going on, I remember that you were advocating for the Afrikaners and for South Africans in general in the past. So I was looking for your channel, and I found it. And I followed you again. You might remember I've been following you as ADHD Homework Survival Kit. That is my wife's YouTube account because she creates online digital products and sells them online. What's her name? Lily. Lily is also, she took one of my wife's kits to help with the ADHD kids. So yeah.
And so
I remember.
Well, I'm glad you did remember. It worked out pretty well for me. So you watched the program, and hopefully it worked out well for you. Did you find my content helpful for your case?
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's nerve-wracking. You wait and you don't hear anything, and eventually something happens, and you get all excited just to wait again for a while and not hear anything. And so it's unfortunate that there's no communication from Church World Services side, because we've got loads of friends still that have applied that don't get any communication. That is unfortunate. I've got two people that applied on the same day, two different families, and the one has already done their MIE fingerprints, and the other one hasn't heard anything. So, and there's no way of contacting them to find out, did I do the application or the intake questionnaire correctly? Nothing. So it's a little bit. She's still waiting for her boyfriend to come through, and there's no communication. Everything is like it's in limbo or in pause, and people are desperate to get out. Let's put it that way.
No, 100%. But that's what I told people from the very beginning is that, timelines don't matter because every case is different. I think what a lot of people are missing in this, Christo, is that there are tens, if not hundreds of thousands of applications. And it takes a long time to process these things. As you mentioned, there was a longer period in yours than your son's because you had those true traffic accidents. That's a rather minor issue. Imagine somebody who has a fraudulent case lodged against them, or someone who has a custody dispute, or someone is accused of spousal abuse, even if though it's unwarranted. Those things have to be investigated. And a lot of people lose sight of that. And I get contacted by a lot of people, Christo, who say, "Well, I've been waiting. I've never done anything wrong," only for them later, months later, to admit to me, "Well, I was arrested in 1997. Oh, you never mentioned that, so it's very frustrating. But your son, obviously, he's an adult, so he had his separate case. Your daughter's still a minor. Is that correct?
Yes, my son is by age is an adult, but he acts like a toddler. My daughter is 18, but she acts like a 26-year-old. So we went wrong somewhere with this one, but they say the first one's always a mess up. So it's like baking pancake.
That's not the way it is. I enjoy my life. Let me enjoy it.
Okay.
All righty. Well, let's make sure you enjoy adhering to the rule of law on this side of the Atlantic. You don't want to get because we were rushed just before this. So my apologies if there's something that comes up you don't want to talk about. But can you tell me what part of the country you guys are from?
we spent about 13 years in Port Elizabeth before we went up to Limpopo province. We spent about eight months in Toyando, which is way up north. And then we went from there. We went to Potgietersrus, Mokopane.
And I went to Polokwane.
And we've got some people that were in the same church congregation as we are that left that came over about 2 weeks before we did. They up in North Carolina, they in Raleigh. And yeah, no, there's a lot of other people also from Mokopane that is waiting to come through. We have one family that had everything done by August 2025. They are part of the forgotten, that list of people that just didn't hear anything afterwards.
Well, there is no such list that people keep claiming of. People who from August, September, and October have arrived here in the past week. I keep hearing this story over and over again. Half the people who had their tickets canceled that should have been the first to come over. Over half those people last month had already come over here. People keep saying that. There are reasons why cases are being held up, and it's not forgotten. That's I'm sorry, that's a bit of a myth. They may feel forgotten, but again, this takes a long time. The fact that some people get here in 3 months or less is amazing. The fact that anybody gets here within a year is pretty impressive. Normally, most refugees, even for in-country resettlement, it takes a long time. This thing is moving much faster than people realize. But I'm going to talk about that in the broadcast after this. So those folks shouldn't feel left behind. I understand the frustration, and it's right to feel frustrated. I understand that. I appreciate that. Waiting for an assignment, waiting to find out where you're going to be stationed in the military, waiting to find out, all these things about your next move when you have to move constantly is nerve-wracking as well. It's not the same, though. I mean, I'm not running from terror. I'm being sent into terror in the places in Africa where the army sent me. I'm being sent towards it, not away from it. So, but seriously, so you guys, you were in Port Elizabeth and you moved up to Mpumalanga. I'm sorry, could you find a nicer part of the country? I mean, I'm not trying to get in trouble with the PE residents or with the Mpumalanga guys, but or Limpopo. I think you said Limpopo. What about the Western Cape? What about the Northern Cape? Even the Northwest? Come on, you guys must be gluttons for punishment.
Work. It's work.
Yeah.
Work. In South Africa, you can't be picky. You take what you can get. That, and I'm not a big fan of Western Cape. The people there are very pretentious. Sorry, but it's a different breed of people. Your liberals go down there. I'm a conservative, and I don't fit in with those people. I'm sorry. And I raised them conservative as well. So whenever they played rugby in Cape Town, they made them know that, listen, we are Boertjies from other part of the country. So when you tackle them, you make them know. You make them understand.
You tell them, make sure they know they're soft.
So are you guys rugby fans and rugby players then?
Huge.
He played rugby. In South Africa, he played Eastern Province Schools rugby.
Yeah.
I watch rugby. I'm sorry to inform you, I'm a Blue Bull, the best rugby team in South Africa. My wife is a Stormer. That is why she's not on the show. we only allow intelligent people on the show.
Oh my goodness! I tell you, that's just messed up. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to you. You must have been abused as a child. Apparently, your wife was brought up properly.
No, I was actually born in Northern Transvaal, and I stayed true to the blue.
All right, go ahead.
He can play rugby. That's why he supports the Blue Bulls.
Okay.
No, they don't play well nowadays.
No, they're actually doing pretty well. They got a quarterfinal, and they got we'll see how that goes. They'll be at home. Hopefully, the Bulls and the Stormers can do well this weekend. I'm pulling for the Lions too, but that's going to be tougher. Although Leinster just got their hat handed to them by Bordeaux in the Champions Cup final this weekend. So yesterday they got slaughtered. But let's get to your rival here. Were you greeted by your refugee case officer, and did they transport you to Toledo? And when you got there, were you in temporary accommodation? If so, was it habitable? And are you in permanent accommodation now? It looks like you're in permanent accommodation.
Yeah, we were guided all the way from the assemble point in Pretoria, where we all got together. We got our packs with all our documentation that we needed to take with us, our I-94 forms, and everybody got on a bus. We went to the airport. There were IOM officials with us the whole time. We went through customs in South Africa. They took my deodorant, so I was very unhappy about that.
They took my grandfather's trophy.
Yeah, his grandfather used to be a sniper in the South African military, and he had a small little token with a gun and a shield, and they took that, but it's not a real gun. I mean, it's this big, but anyway, they took that, and yeah, and then we got on the airplane, and they fed us 4 times on the flight.
I slept for most of it.
He slept for most of it. My wife slept a lot. She didn't sleep a lot. I was awake all the way. 17-hour flight. We landed in New Jersey. From there, we went through customs and everything. Went smooth. It was about 2.5 hours for us to get through all of that. And then we had to take a train to the next platform to get on the flight, which was an 1.5-hour flight from New Jersey through to Detroit City. But there's the whole time the IOM officers are with you. Very nice people. Yeah. The English is funny. It's like American English. I told them that they speak English very funny. We got off the plane at Detroit. It was fairly quiet at the airport, very quiet at the airport. And then we met our case manager. Well, sorry, not our case manager. The driver collected us. We're not. They don't know we're on the show, so we're not going to name any names. And then on the drive back from the airport to where our temporary accommodation was going to be here in Toledo, he got a phone call from our caseworker, and she told him there's a 3-bedroom house that just became available. Would we like to go and look at it? And we said, okay, no problem. So we came here, we had a look at the place. The price was decent, and we decided to take it. We couldn't move in the same night yet because they were still fixing the water heater. Yeah, the water heater was here already, and the guys were here busy fixing it, and they said we can move in the next day. So we stayed over at our temporary accommodation. They delivered a box full of food, 2 loaves, 2 loaves of bread, a gallon of milk. There were 4 pizzas. There were. I think they probably thought we were going to stay there for a week, but this was food for 1 day. Yes. So we went to bed full bellies, and we got up the next day. From there, we went to the office. We met up with our caseworker, and she had all our documentation ready there for us to sign. We signed. Everything was done and dusted. And then we left there. My son and myself went with the driver to go pick out some furniture, and my wife and my daughter was taken through to Walmart. We received, the previous day we already received phones each, and some spending money, and they got a week's worth of groceries from Walmart, and we got the furniture that we're sitting on now. And we came to the house, and that was it. Everything was done. Our case worker then informed us that on the 14th of April, which is less than a week after we arrived, we had our appointments for our social security numbers. 4 working days after we did our social security application, we got our social security cards. So it took us only 4 days, and then we received it on the 20th of April. On the 24th of April, he got employed. The 27th of April, I got employed. 28th of April, she got employed. And we received our EADs also now a week ago.
And now we all work at the same place.
Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive. It sounds like it's gone pretty smoothly for you guys. Did you ever imagine yourself living in Toledo, Ohio? Had you ever even heard of it before you got there?
No, we knew there was a place called Ohio, or a state called Ohio. Yeah. But we didn't know that we were going to be so close to Michigan, and we didn't know there was a place called Toledo, Ohio. But yeah, no, we're here. We're actually in the suburbs, which is nice. We're not in town itself. So we've got bus tickets to go where we want to go, and Yes, we're busy sorting out the driver's license situation as well.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mess in Ohio, as I discovered on my trip there. The state of Ohio is really screwing refugees over. I've written to the governor, but I've gotten no response. I know a couple of refugees got a pro forma response back saying that it's not up to the governor, but it is up to the governor to lead this effort to fix this. But that's a real mess. That's going to cost you each around $700, and you have to do all this stupid training for people already licensed. I feel bad for folks in Ohio, but I can't fix it for you.
Yeah. No, we've got a fantastic caseworker, Colonel. If there is ever a trophy for the best caseworker in this whole refugee program, this woman will take it, hands down. They at one stage we had 4 or 5 families arriving in 1 week, and she had all their paperwork in order. You know, everything just goes clockwork, and everybody gets sorted out immediately. It's no, we're happy. She's Syrian. So is the guy the driver that picks everybody up at the airport. He's also Syrian, and really really nice people. Professional, but also friendly and nice.
Well, have you guys had a chance to get out and take a look at the lake? The lake is not too far away. The water's right out there. Any chance to view that?
Yes, we had for work. We had to go to Lakeside Marblehead,
Yeah.
which is right by Lake Erie. So
Yeah.
for work, we were there
Yeah.
and we saw it.
So,
But yeah, no,
also, of
Sorry.
course, Toledo is famous. Of course, the lake is right there, and you're like you say, the city limits run right up to the state of Michigan. But it's also known for the Mud Hens. The MASH television show had Corporal Klinger, who is from Toledo, the Lebanese American, and he was always wearing a Mud Hens hat. I don't know. Have you had a chance to check out baseball yet?
No.
not yet. No, we haven't. We haven't actually. The first week we couldn't travel anywhere until we got the bus ticket sorted out, and that we got sorted out, and then it was not long after that, and we started working. So we work basically till about 10 at night. Work from 12 to 10, and yeah. So currently we're not exploring a lot, but we plan to because we're going to get our licenses sorted out very very soon.
Well, that's good news to hear that you get your license sorted out because relying on public transport is frustrating in America unless you live in Manhattan or somewhere like that. It's very difficult and unreliable at times. Frustrating because it doesn't always go where you want it to go. That was one of the problems in Maryland. I was like, take the public transport to go into work. But I worked at the Pentagon, and taking public transport, I tried it. It took an hour and 45 minutes. And one day when I went home, the train never even showed up. I had to wait another hour and a half for the next train. And it was like, minus 10 degrees outside and it wasn't heated. So, yeah, it can be a little frustrating. Hopefully you don't have that experience there. But Toledo, so far, it's interesting to hear. Do you mind telling us who your agency was so we can say they're doing a great job?
The Jewish Resettlement Agency, or Jewish Resettlement Agency.
Okay, that's interesting because we've identified two of these agencies affiliated with the Jewish religion that are problematic: HIAS, the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, and Jewish Family Community Services, which have both been dumping South African refugees in Florida and elsewhere, and in Ann Arbor, Michigan, treating them very poorly. So I'm glad to hear that you're having a fantastic experience with them. That's just amazing. So that's all great stuff. That's wonderful. Well, I'm going to talk to the kids. They're both adults. Let me talk to the kids here very quick. Let me start with your daughter. She's here. She's 18. She's working already. This has got to be quite a change for you from South Africa. I mean, just the natural environment alone. The northern part of Ohio is pretty flat, so it's almost like being in the Free State. You didn't live in the Free State. Of course, there's water there, and it's well watered. But the people, the experience, what's it been like for you so far?
It's been good. It's been fun. I mean, I wanted to come to America since I was 13. So I've been doing my research for a few years now, but I've enjoyed it a lot. The people are nice. Everyone is very friendly. It's just I would like to at least know when my boyfriend is coming over, specifically because I miss him. But other than that, no, it's honestly the people are very nice. They're very helpful.
As a father, I think his case is progressing fast enough.
All right, let's get some feedback from your son about his experience so far.
Well, I've got happy days. I'm weird, so I could just fit in wherever I'm going. So I've been wanting to go to the US or to come to the US, but I just never thought it was going to happen. So when we applied for it, I just told my parents, you know what, just keep living your life and make plans for the future in South Africa, just in case it doesn't happen. So at least that way you're set up for whatever. And then if it happens, then fantastic. If not, okay, cool. Well, I'm already sorted. And then I came over, and then we came over. And I was smart. I broke up with my girlfriend before I came over.
But we didn't like her, so it's fine.
Jeez, I hope she's not watching. Anyway, but so all right. So, God, sorry, I'm still chuckling over that one there. But your case was a separate case, but they were linked, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So So it all sounds fantastic. It all sounds kumbaya. You've all got jobs. You've got EADs. You got a place to live. Everything went well. What didn't go well, Christo? Something probably didn't go well. There had to be something that was other than the wait and not getting communication. Was there anything? Any of you guys want to jump in and say something? I mean, do you not like the ice cream here? I mean, it's got to be something that's going on.
The spices.
Yeah, no, we got the right spices now. I'm very upset that I haven't bought a braai yet.
Yeah.
Some of my friends, Renee van Wyk in South Africa, wants to know why I haven't had a braai yet. But it's been too wet and too cold most of the time here to braai anyway. And like I said, is we work from 12. We get on the bus at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
To get to work at 11:45 to start at 12 o'clock. So it's from 12 until 10 o'clock. We get home at about 11 o'clock. So I haven't had a braai. But to be honest, we have been abundantly blessed. We have had absolute no issues up to now. We even have a personal banker.
Yeah.
Because the bank is across the road. Key Bank, we went in there. We saw the lady there at the bank, the personal banker. And yes, if we don't go and visit her at least once a week, she gets upset.
Yeah.
So you're able to set up a bank account pretty quickly. Did you get that before Social Security numbers or after you got your Social Security numbers?
Before Social Security numbers, about a week before.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, it took us only after we arrived here, less than 3 weeks to get our Social Security. So, yeah, we opened the accounts, and then a week later, we just went in and we gave them out our Social Security. And that was after that we could start using the online banking app. But prior to that, we had our cards already.
Now, a couple people ask what sort of work you're doing. I don't know if you want to disclose that. If you want, if you can disclose it. If not, we'll move on to another topic.
I worked in hospitality for most of my life, but I also had 13 years of sales experience. So now we're back in sales. We work for a company that does fiber internet.
And here the internet works. It's not like South Africa where the batteries are stolen from the cell phone towers.
I'll say which company's internet doesn't work, because we've got that yet, because there's no fiber yet. But the company we work for told us there will be fiber here soon, so I will be switching.
Yeah.
I'm not going to divulge too much, but it's got a lot to. Or the name of the company is. They use it to name Ohio as well. So,
no, it's okay. You don't have to tell us which company. People are just curious what you're doing. So you guys are working for a fiber company in the IT services industry. That's basically what it is.
And we're lucky enough that we can go and work in any. So the owner of the company already told us we can pick a state where we want to go, and we can go.
Yeah, they want to take us to Florida.
Yeah, they want to take us to Florida. Apparently, it's the first time I heard it, but yeah.
Ugh, okay, well, good luck with that. I just came back from Orlando. It was 95 degrees and 90% humidity. I landed in Pennsylvania. It was 57 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was in shorts with wind blowing 30 knots, and I was in heaven.
Yeah.
So one of our viewers from Vermont, who's left the center and admits that, so we always like her. Faithful Farmer says, can you please tell them I say welcome to America and God bless them. I hope they find peace and prosperity here and lots of friends. Well, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, no. Most of the American people are very friendly. A lot of them very curious, ask questions. But yeah, no, you still get the one or two households, because we deal with a lot of people on a daily basis. So you get a lot of those people who are a little bit funny. I mean, the other day I walked out of the shop and I said good morning to a lady, and she said to me, "Whatever." And
Yeah.
so I was, okay, really good morning to
And
you.
then a lot of Americans are very stupid.
Oh, that's not going to go over very well.
Stop saying that.
My bad.
So we're not going to talk to him anymore. Let me talk to your daughter here. I'll let her speak for your mom. So how's your mom doing? She's off camera. Is she adjusting well, or is she having a hard time?
Just listening to, because she's going like that over there.
She's directing.
And
No,
Yeah,
I
no,
wanted,
listening-
Krista, I wanted your daughter to tell me. I want an unbiased opinion. You're married to her. You got to be nice.
no, she hits me. I have to be nice.
But no, let's get your daughter to pipe in. What do you think? Is your mom having a good experience so far this side?
Is enjoying it. She's, like we said, she's an introvert, so she doesn't care about going out. She does not care about. She wants to see America, obviously, but it's not her main thing to do it. So we were thinking of maybe doing one of our bus tickets, because we have the bus tickets. So we were thinking of giving one of them to her, then my mom and dad can go out and just look at Toledo at least, because she spends most of her days inside because she has her business.
Oh,
No,
that's not good to be spending all the time. But she doesn't get. So you have bus passes, not a bus ticket, a bus pass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's that 31-day bus pass.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you can give it to her. Get her out of the house and go somewhere other than Walmart.
Yeah.
But we're going to send her alone and ask her to figure out the app by herself.
Oh,
We'll
good
come
luck.
look for her sometime.
Good luck with that. Yikes. Okay, so guys, what has been from each of you? Start with the daughter and work our way across Krista and the son. What has been the most exciting part about this journey for you?
I'm gonna have to say the food.
The
There's
food.
so many places to eat. So, I mean, I had Raisin Cane's the other day. It was freaking amazing. So it's gotta be the food.
Okay, KFC is quiet.
Yeah,
This
but
is definitely
that's-
not Africa. There's not a lot of people at KFC because we've driven past KFC a couple of times, and it's fairly empty.
Yeah,
Uh,
but that's because they have Raisin Cane's.
For me, it is all the Mustangs and Dodge, and this is car country, and some of these people here have got some good cars. Huge trucks. Okay, probably not the size of the trucks in Texas, but yes, everything works, and it's safe. I mean, my two kids, they went out for the first time last night with co-workers. They were invited by co-workers because co-workers wanted to show them around.
We went to Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, we played arcade games.
It was so fun.
So they went out with them to Dave and Buster's last night, and my wife was still very concerned because they stayed out late. But for me it was, they're safe if they go out. In South Africa you can't do that anymore. We would stay awake if they had to go out somewhere in South Africa. You'd stay awake until they get home, and you'll be on the phone with them every now and then to make sure that they're all right. Whereas here, you know that they're safe.
All right, it's your turn, Andres.
I just found your portion sizes extremely interesting
Yeah.
in terms of food.
Yeah.
Your portion sizes, like a pizza, is huge.
The first night we stayed in this house, we decided not to cook food. We're going to get pizza. This is now our second night in America.
Yeah.
So there's a place down the road here.
It's a pizza bar.
Yeah, it's a pizza bar. We decided we're going to get pizzas. Now, we normally get Roman's pizza in South Africa. I like the thick base. They like the thin base. The large. We get 4 pizzas, and we eat 4 pizzas.
Yeah.
1 each.
And then someone doesn't finish theirs, and then
Yeah.
we finish it for them.
Yes. So we got pizzas here. We decide we're large people.
Yeah, we can do
When it comes to not fat,
it.
we like
Portion
large
sizes.
pizzas. So we ate 3 days on those pizzas.
Yeah.
It was massive.
Humongous.
So yeah.
Well, people say that. I find that interesting because when I go to South Africa, I also eat at Romans. I like Romans, and I find the pizza's too small. I love pizza. But as far as portions, I find it interesting people say that because in South Africa, when I eat at restaurants, they always pile stuff on the plate, stuff that I'm not going to eat. It's too much. So I find it interesting to find the portions larger. I get the difference from the pizza because the Italians may have invented pizza, but Americans perfected it. We have the best pizza in the world, whether it's Chicago deep dish or it's but Roman's is a good quality pizza, unlike Debonaire's, which is cardboard. That stuff is disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah, we had Caesars the other day. I wasn't too fond of it because it was very salty.
Yeah, Caesars.
Maybe it was just...
They're also smaller. Their pizzas are 14-inch. They're large instead of 16-inch. Yeah, but probably the best takeaway pizza in America as a national chain is going to be Papa John's. You should try them.
There's one down the road. Yeah, we'll hit that one next.
Yeah, you try Papa John's. Yeah, no. Domino's, there was a period, Domino's was like the leader in this category from the 70s until the 90s, but then they overproduced chains, and their stuff became stale, and their pizza tasted terrible. And then they redid their pizza about 10 years ago and completely redesigned it, and it's actually okay now. It's not great, but it's okay. It's not bad. Pretty good compared to what it used to be. If you add a Domino's pizza in 1995 and 2025, you're like, this stuff is incredible now. But Papa John's tends to be about the best for that, so give them a shot. But all of them are ridiculously expensive, so especially if you haven't delivered anymore. It used to be no charges for delivery. Now they want to charge you a surcharge, and they don't give the money to the driver, so it's kind of annoying. If they gave it to the driver, it would make sense, but they pocket that money. And I used to be able to get Papa John's pizza, 16-inch pizza, for like $12, $14 max. Now they want like $25, $30 for these things sometimes. You just got to be careful. But you can get specials all the time. If the Mud Hens win a game by so many runs, something like that, there might be a special. Sign up for the emails and you get a special. If you like Papa John's, just saying.
Now we'll try it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife likes to order everything from Walmart. And then she takes the tip off, and then they take our money and they don't deliver. They cancel the order.
Yeah.
Well, there's no tip. There's no tips on Amazon. Just order from Amazon instead of Walmart. You get a better price anyway. Yeah.
Don't give them more ideas to order online. I'm trying to come to the shop.
All right. So you mentioned the bank account, Christo. Have you secured a credit card already, or is that something you looked at, or no?
We've looked at it. We haven't done it yet. We'll probably do it month end. And then, from there, we'll start building up our credit.
All right.
At this stage, our utility bills and our gas bills, everything is on our name. Our cell phone contracts and the rent is on our name. But we don't have any credit history. So we'll start building that slowly but surely.
Okay, well, that's going to be great for you and your wife. You're going to be the credit history, but the kids are not on your bills, so they need to build a credit history for themselves too. Paying their mobile phone bill will do part of that, but then they're going to need something. And the easiest way to build that credit history is with a credit card. Just don't use it as a credit card. Use it as a charge card and pay it off in full every month. And then you'll get a credit history pretty quickly. So if you can get one, but make sure you get a credit card if you get one that has no what's the word I'm looking for here? No annual fee. So a lot of them want to charge $50, $70, $100 a year to have it. There's no reason to pay for a credit card with an annual fee. Even if you don't have a credit history, they hand the credit cards out like bubble gum. And then you have to make sure it has a 21-day grace period. That's the norm. So when you get a credit card from the day that the bill is cut, you get 21 days to pay the balance off in full. If you pay it off in full, there's no interest charge, there's no late charges. If you don't pay it off in full, you pay the minimum payment, then you pay the interest rate, which is usually like 14 to 28%. All the way back to the day that you purchased, and you never get out of that. You're always falling behind. So there's a little bit of advice on a credit card there.
Awesome. Now we'll remember that.
Yeah, because
we'll just buy something and then put all of it back the next week.
Yeah.
Because luckily we get paid weekly, so.
It must be nice. I haven't been paid weekly since 1989 when I worked for UPS.
So we're not complaining at this stage. We just know that we have to survive for 7 days. So, which is good.
Yeah, well, that's good. So she has her home business is still going, I take it, and the three of you are working. So you should be in good order pretty quickly here and get established. Are you guys going to move out of the house a little bit down the road? Are you all going to stay there? What's your thoughts on that? Because you're over 21 and you're 18. So what's the plans? You guys going to leave home? You gonna jump out of the nest, or you going to stay there for a while?
I'm jumping out of the nest.
She wants to leave. She wants to leave as soon as the boyfriend arrives, but
as soon as he arrives,
we've got a deal that we're gonna, for the first year, we're gonna stick together as a family unit, and then after that, everybody must go. But the only way we're going to get him out of the house is if we send if we send him to the shop, and when he comes back, we're not here anymore. So that's all only way we're going to get rid of him.
Hey, I'm not paying rent. I've got someone to wash my clothes for me and someone to cook dinner for me. Why would I move out?
He sounds very American already. Gee, many crickets.
Yeah. No, but we said for the first year we're just going to stick together as a family unit, build up our credit, build up everything that we need to build up, and then also save some money so that when they want to move out, they've got a deposit for where they want to stay. They can get some furniture or down payment, because she's just on Zillow looking for houses to buy.
There's this really cute one that I'm looking at.
Well, make sure you get a good inspection of it, because if it's an existing houses, they sometimes there's issues of subsidence or the foundation, the basement. So make sure you get that. New construction, you're guaranteed at least for a year that the place is good, because they have to come back and fix it normally. But if it's an existing place, just make sure you get a good inspection of it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's ask this question then. What is the thing that you miss the most from South Africa? We'll start with her and work our way across.
But he's flying over.
My mom just whispered boyfriend. Obviously, but no, the other thing would probably be just the people. Because you get along with your people. So I miss the people in South Africa, and probably the food, obviously. The braai.
Okay, she's talking a lot about food here. I mean, she loves the food here. She loves the food there. I think she'll love the food anywhere. If we send her to Thailand, she'll probably love it.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Yeah.
Yeah. From our side, it is. We do have family back home. We miss them, but the people, the culture, and I'm 51 years old. I've got 51 years of South Africa in, and that is what I miss. I don't miss the government. I don't miss Julius Malema yet. But yeah, it's just your people and your culture. Luckily, the American culture is not very far off. The conservative culture here is not very far removed from the Afrikaner culture. But that's the only thing we miss. And then I miss people like my Choppy, who is out there in the Northwest Province. Choppy! And Tracy. And there's a lot of people that said I must mention their names here. They're still trying to get over. But yeah, I miss a lot of my friends. Yeah.
I know it's going to be a boring answer, but it's exactly the same as what they've answered. I miss the people, and I miss my best friend. He's also sitting over there. And I miss Afrikaans. When you just go outside and you can speak Afrikaans to some people, but here you can't.
No, you can't. And hopefully you don't have to speak Spanish outside. We try to prevent that as well. You should just be able to speak English here. But that's on you guys to guard your language and protect it and inculcate it if you have kids later on. Look, we have ethnic groups that have come to America that have felt that their language and culture was so important to them that they ensured that it survived, either by doing it themselves and perpetuating that from generation to generation, or by building communities. The Amish are a great example of that. The Amish still speak German almost 400 years after they arrived in America in the 1600s. It'll soon be 400 years. And they came here and they retained their culture, their language, and it's a funny German. I can understand it, but I really have to listen close, especially here in Pennsylvania. But many of the Mennonites also still speak German. And beyond that, we have the old Spanish families of the Southwest in New Mexico and Arizona and parts of Southern California who were in America before it became America. And before it became Mexico. It was old Spain. And they still speak Spanish. They still practice their culture of Castilian and Roman Catholics. So it's doable. Now, small numbers of people make it more challenging, but it's up to you guys to inculcate that in your progeny. That's if it's important to you, it's something you can carry on and it can last. Otherwise, it gets lost, like the so-called Afrikaners in Patagonia who are not Afrikaners. Juan de Fundameva is not an Afrikaner, even though they claim they are.
Ja. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ja, natürlich schon seit über 40 Jahren.
can you say that in English because I don't speak German?
I said, of course, for more than 40 years already.
Okay.
So somebody said they know the family. Somebody said earlier that they were, when you were interviewed, they were there at the same time. So some folks know you. That's interesting. Anyway, all right. Well, so no bad stuff to report. Mostly really good stuff to report. It sounds. I mean, it's amazing that the three of you are working. That's three incomes. That's going to be fantastic. I wish I had three incomes in my house. That'd be nice. But three incomes is a good start. You've got all your key documents. Now the next, not hurdle, but the next key event for you guys, probably other than get your driver's license and getting transportation, will be your green card next year, I should think. Or I suppose, I guess for her boyfriend coming over.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not a green card.
I don't care. I like it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's all right. I'll just say, in case he's watching, shame. Just now he doesn't want to come, and then I have to deal with her.
Does she mope a lot because he's not there?
Sure. You know those gremlins in the morning when she wakes up, her hair's like that, and she's like, wow. And then she's on her phone. Nothing has happened on his skate status yet. And then it's our fault.
Yeah.
And then we feed her some coffee, and then she comes down. She calms down, yeah.
And then when the coffee finally kicks in, she beats me.
Yeah.
Now he's lying.
The woman in this family hits us men. Colonel, I saw down the road here, there is a family protection. What do they call them? Family abuse center.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've written down the address, so we'll go there soon. Yeah.
Well, here's some advice. I know you said there was a lot of pizza left over, but the secret to this, Christo, is don't feed the gremlins after midnight.
That's right. And the water as well. Don't get them wet.
Don't get them wet. That's right. Yeah, don't get her wet. Don't. Yeah. So, but seriously. Well, you've landed in, I can't speak for Toledo. I've only passed through. I never actually spent time in Toledo, but I certainly was an Ohio resident for over 40 years. And you've landed in the state that is a microcosm of America. Pretty much everything that America is, you find in Ohio. Vast agriculture, a majority white population with a black minority population, industrial centers, the rubber industry for tires, and over in Akron area, you've got steel production. It's not as much as it used to be. You've got everything, IT services, Cincinnati, especially Columbus, insurance companies, big insurance companies, Columbus. You've got all the things, Ohio has more universities you can stick a stick at. I don't know if either of them are interested in going to university, but there are a lot of universities in Ohio. I mean, I could sit here and name them. It would take me 5 minutes just to go through the ones I can think of. But there's everything that you're looking for in America, unless you're looking for some tourist destination like the Grand Canyon, you can find in Ohio, which is fascinating. It's I'm no longer an Ohio resident, but I found it to be a great state to be from, and I hope that your experience in Ohio goes pretty well. I know that some of the folks in Cleveland are having a tough time because they're agencies. Others are doing quite well in Cleveland. The folks in Columbus seem to be doing very well. Congratulations to them. It's good to hear that you're doing well in Toledo also. I haven't heard from anybody in the Cincinnati or Dayton area, so I don't know if they're down there. But are you guys in touch with other refugees from South Africa in the Toledo area?
Yes, yeah, no, we are with a couple of them. But not as much because we're not in the same area. Most of them are in the city center, Sylvania area, close to where our offices are. We are, like I said, right on the edge. I think we're on the west side of Mormie. So we don't get to see them a lot. We saw them when we did the cultural orientation. Everybody got together at the offices there. And it was just Afrikaans all over the place. So we had to brush up our Afrikaans. But yeah, no, it's we don't get in touch with them a lot though. But we have got a group, everybody is on there, and now and again, like I mentioned to the guys, we need more salespeople where we are, and I said to the South Africans in Toledo, you're more than welcome to contact me and join us. There are positions open, the salary is very good, or the pay structure is very, very good.
Commission-based.
Commission-based, but it's an easy sell.
Yeah.
It's a very easy sell.
Does it come with health insurance?
Not yet. No. I think we'll get there because it is at the moment it's only commission based, but we are making good money. We are making in a week what we'll make in a month in South Africa.
I made with my bonus more than I made in South Africa for my monthly salary.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
congratulations. That's pretty awesome. Sales is a tough field to be in, though, so that's got to be interesting.
well, we
Good.
at this stage we still have some financial obligations in South Africa, and we can pay off our debt in South Africa and pay our living expenses here and live very comfortably with what we earn in two weeks. So it's going very well.
Well, that's pretty good. What about the other refugees? Without speaking about who they are specifically, are you hearing from any of them that they're having any troubles in Toledo, or is it going rather smoothly for them as well?
Good for them as well. If you go in the group, everybody says there that, listen, you're in good hands. When
Okay.
people arrive here, the welcomes them, and they mention to the caseworker's name, and just everybody knows these people are sorted.
Well, that's awesome to
we,
hear.
we saw the date that our caseworker already started working on our case, and that was what, 3 weeks before we arrived.
You should started working the 26th.
Yeah, no, the 19th.
The 19th.
19th of March. We only found out we were coming to Toledo when we received our tickets on the 1st. And she already started 2 weeks prior to us receiving our tickets to work on our case and get all our documentation ready and everything. So she knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah, that's the norm. We've had cases of case officers who are proactive, who reached out to South Africans and said, "Hey, you're coming here," and then South Africans are like, "Well, who is this? Is this a fraud? And is somebody trying to steal my identity?" And I have to reassure them that once they tell me who it is, and I look to see, I'm like, "No, that's legitimate. They know you're coming there already, but we don't know." Well, that's because of a communication breakdown in South Africa. They're not sharing the information with you. But your case is referred to an agency before you come over here. And the agency has to agree to accept you. They don't just send people to agencies without any concurrence. The agency has to say, we have the capacity, we can take on this case. Otherwise, it doesn't go to them. So they knew, and obviously you have a proactive agent, and she's probably got a lot of cases. So it's great to hear that she's doing a great job. It's fantastic. And obviously she treats it as more than just a job. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had such a good experience.
Yeah, no, she makes sure that everything is done 100%, and you can see she takes pride in what she does.
Well, that's pretty awesome. You mentioned cars. I'll share this with you since you seem to be into cars. Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which is here where I'm at, just close by me, has a famous number of car shows every summer. They do them at the campgrounds or the parade grounds here, and they're huge events. A lot of people come from classic cars. You'll find everything you can imagine here. So at some point when you've got a car, if you're looking for something to do, you might want to do a search and look at Carlisle car shows, and maybe you want to come down this way and go to a car show, because I don't go to them. I mean, classic cars are nice to see on the road, but I'm not an aficionado. I don't go, ooh, it's a '57 Chevy with a V8. That's not me. Yeah, but I mean, if that's something that interests you, Carlisle's a place to come check it out.
No, we'll definitely do that. He's looking for 67 Impala.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's his dream car.
But I want a two-door, not a four-door.
Yeah, but I think the 67 is a two-door. But anyway. Luckily with the work that we're doing now, is the owner of the company told us, he says, if you guys want to go to Pennsylvania or Texas or Florida or wherever, we must just let him know, and he will arrange all of that, and we can go and work there for a couple of months, 3 months, a year. Depends till we're tired of that area, and then he can move us to another state if we want to. So we are, like I said, we're very blessed. It's a complete 180 of our life and experiences in South Africa.
Well, Chris, so that's the thing I want to focus on next before we get to the end of our conversation today. Is I want to talk about when your reason for leaving South Africa. Was it past persecution, or was it a legitimate fear of future persecution? And when you articulated that, aside from your ramming police cars in the past, your history of that, what was it difficult for you?
Okay, on the 1st of April, I don't know, everything happens to us on April Fool's Day. We got our plane tickets on April Fool's Day, but in 2009, he was 5 and she was 2 years old. April Fool's Day 2009, 3 guys came into our house. We were sleeping in one bedroom because we were living in Hartbeespoort. And so the kids were in the bedroom with us because it was raining and there was thunder. So we made a family bed, and we were watching movies the night. And then 2:30 in the morning, 3 guys came in, one with a gun, one with a monkey wrench, and one with a knife. and they woke my wife up. The guy with the gun had the gun to her head, and he woke her up. And she screamed, and I jumped up. I wanted to get off the bed, but on the side where my kids were laying on the mattress on the floor, and the other two were standing in between them. They tied me up and threw a blanket over me, and they took my wife and the two kids through the house, ransacking, because she had a computer business at that stage. And so we had a lot of laptops there, so they took all of that. And at one stage, she was just handing out stuff. Now, if you go there, you can find that. If you go there, eventually, I just said to her, listen, stop giving our stuff away. And yeah, they tied her up with the kids like this, and then they left. And that was our first incident. And I've got some family that has been attacked in the northwest area. And when we went to go live in Toledo, because they opened a new hotel there, and we moved up to assist with the opening of the hotel. When we moved into the house that we moved in, the police officer that came to put the electric fencing in for us, he told us straight, he says, you guys better be careful because of the color of your skin, because the locals there, if they see you, they see money. And I mean, it's not like we had money. So it was just, it's building up, and it's building up, and it's building up. And I eventually said to my wife, this country is going to explode, and it's going to happen soon. And we actually, if Julius Malema didn't appeal his case, we always knew he was going to appeal it, and it's going to be drawn out long. But if he has to go to prison, you're going to have the same situation you had when Jacob Zuma had to go to prison. There's going to be riots. There's going to be how did the EFF say? He says this is going to cause the revolution. So yeah, we just decided it's time to get out, and that's what I said to the caseworker. I said to them, there is no future for me and my kids in that country, and it is on a knife's edge. And there's too many South Africans that can't see that coming. There's too many people that live in their gated communities that are very comfortable, and they think, no, everything is 100% in the country, and by the next election, everything will be sorted out. And it's not going to happen. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And the mere fact that our government is picking a fight with the American government doesn't have to be Trump, because I'm a firm believer that the Republicans are going to stay in power after 2028. And they're going to pick a fight with whomever is the president, probably be J.D. Vance or even Marco Rubio. They're going to keep on picking a fight with them and side with communists. And the more they do that, the more they're just digging their own grave. And they're going to blame apartheid for that, and they're going to blame the white people for it. So there is no future for us that side.
Well, that seems like a reasonable comment on the situation in South Africa. Let me ask each of you, I'm sure I know the answer to this, and it sounds, given that it's such a positive case, I mean, I've talked to people when I go to my meet and greets all over the country. Some people are struggling because they're case officers or because the situation they're in is not an ideal spot. But let me ask each of you, we'll start with your daughter and go across, any regrets on making this decision to come to the United States as refugees?
Heck no.
That was quick enough.
It's quick enough.
Why?
There are no regrets. I'm happy.
Oh, they made friends.
Yeah.
My turn.
Yeah, it's your turn, Krista. We're waiting on you.
There's always the idiot that asks. No? I think I have to say this. Other than asking my wife to marry me, this is the second best decision of my life. Was that right? So I'm just making sure, because afterwards it's going to be a meeting. And she hits hard.
I don't have any regrets.
No, he's happy-go-lucky.
I never have regrets. I tend to live without them. I'd rather do something and find out afterwards it wasn't smart to do it, and not do it and regret not doing it.
Well, I agree with your concept of not having regrets, but I'm not so sure I agree with just doing things and then finding out whether it's the right decision after the fact. That's probably not the best approach, but not having regrets is a good thing. unless you're Shirley MacLaine or a Buddhist, you get one shot at this life, this existence. So you should make the best of it. It sounds like you guys are making the best of it here and overcoming adversity. So let's see. Can we get any thoughts or advice? Let's start from my left, your right, once again, with her. Any thoughts or advice or comments you might want to share to people who are in the program, who are applying for the program, or people who don't know about the program? And let's start with her.
I would honestly say it's the best decision you will make for yourself, because you struggle your butt off in South Africa just to flourish in America. So it's the best decision you will make, even if the wait takes forever. Because, I mean, we were waiting for over a year. Even if it takes forever, don't regret it.
From my side, I'd say the same. And I know it's such a cliche. Just hang in there, it'll happen. When we were in South Africa and people said, don't worry, it will happen, we thought, yeah, it's easy for you to say you're there already, because we wanted to get out of that country. But unfortunately, the reality is, hang in there. It's going to happen. It'll happen at the right time. And best decision we could have ever made, really. We feel safe. We've got a future. And the sky's the limit in America. I mean, yeah, you can literally end up at the top. You are your own obstacle, let's put it that way. And for somebody to come here and not make it, it's their own stupidity or their own fault. Because, like I said, you're the only one that can stand in your way here, because nobody here is stopping you from making a success out of your life. Nobody. And to move here is the best decision I could have made for my kids' future as well. We did it for our kids. And we're happy. We're happy. We're really, really happy. Here we're sitting, the front doors open. We can see the neighbors. No problems. No problems. South Africa, you can't do it. Even when you're home, you lock your door. Here's no fencing, no nothing.
My advice would be, at the end of the day, just be patient. Continue with your life. Basically pretend that you forget about applying to do it in the first place. You did it, cool, but continue to live your life so that you can just build your life in South Africa and forget about moving to America until it actually happens. Because that way you're not really thinking about it, so it feels like you're not waiting too long.
Well, I would say that the advice that you're offering to people sounds strangely familiar to something I've been saying all along, is do your application, continue your life, move on with your life, be prepared to answer the questions, go where they tell you to go when it's time, and don't assume that you're going to get this. Just continue your life. Otherwise, you're going to go through a lot of unnecessary stress. Sounds like advice I offer, Christo.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. It's just that when you're that side, it's different. It's you're eager to get out. Not for destination shopping. Is you want to, number one, get to safety, and number two, start your new life and go forward in life. And that was our biggest struggle with the wait, is we want to live the American dream, and now we are. We're right at the beginning of it, but we know we're going to get to the end where it is. In South Africa, there is no big African dream.
There's just a long walk to freedom.
Yeah, we've got an office joke there. If something goes wrong at the office, I always tell them, hey, blame the 3 Africans. And everybody thinks it's hilarious. But yeah, it's over here, you the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And when you're in South Africa, you can see that picture. I mean, we've been, ever since this thing came out, we were destination shopping, and we're going to do this when we get to America, and that, and we were psyching ourselves up only to wait.
And then I reminded you.
Yeah, he reminded us, but he's Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky.
Don't even think about it. Just forget about it. Forget about it, until we get our tickets.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that was a sound approach.
Yeah, and the advice I can give, and I've given it to a friend of mine, Tracy. Her and her daughter is waiting to come over. I said to her, what you can do is declutter, but carry on with your life in the meantime.
Yeah.
And when things start happening, reach out and we can tell you, do this, do that. We can give them advice. But other than being patient, there's nothing else nobody can do.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do now.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that there's no communication. At least let the people know, thank you, we've got your application, or thank you, this is where you, this is what we still need, or this is, there's no communication whatsoever. And it's just like, apply and wait.
Yeah, that's the tough part that's frustrating. So I just have a question for you. You're in a nice area. You mentioned the Maumee River. I don't think people understood what Maumee is. It's a Maumee River which bisects Toledo, runs into the Great Lakes. But you're there. There was an incident that occurred just a day or so ago in South Africa, and I'm wondering if there's a nice place, an apartment space near you guys for Naledi Pandor, because she was held at gunpoint in her home and they broke in and robbed her. So I think the ANC is going to start paying attention to home invasions. So do you have any place for Naledi Pandor there? Can we set her up?
We're close to the zoo, but I'm not saying we must put her in the zoo. I'm not a racist, but there are apartments close to the zoo.
Yeah. Well, also, she's a politician, and the politicians come from a circus, so that makes sense. So, yeah. All right. Well, guys, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And thanks to your wife for all the production behind the scenes where she's directing you what to say and when to say it, as she wouldn't come on camera.
Couple of things that we weren't supposed to say. So if you don't hear from me, send a search party.
All right, so Christo, if there's any concern, just blink fast really quickly right now, okay? Just blink fast. There you go. Okay. All right, let me call 911. All right, but seriously, thanks for coming. I appreciate you sharing your experiences with folks, that it's hopefully helps others. Appreciate it. We'll be doing a special broadcast here at the top of the hour. Thanks, guys. I want to wish you all the best, and thanks for those who were patient. We had to struggle through a laptop to a mobile phone, and the mobile phone seems to have worked out just fine. So cool beans. All right, you guys take care in Toledo, and all the best, okay?
Thank you, Colonel. Cheers, everybody.
All right, I'll only put them in the waiting room. They'll drop themselves off, probably get out there before I do it. So there you go. All right, that's going to be it for this broadcast, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I have a special session coming up at the top of the hour talking about the refugee program, and the chat is turned off. It's turned off. You will be able to chat after I finish my opening monologue. I don't need distractions of people complaining about the refugee case when I'm trying to explain the situation to people. So if you want to tune in for that, you're welcome to it. You'll be automatically redirected to that. The nearly 700 people that are currently here will be able to join me over there if you like. And hopefully I'll see you here in about 16 minutes on the program. To the Koker family, thank you so much for your time, and appreciate sharing your journey with us once again. We got more folks who sent me requests for refugee interviews. I'll get to those as quickly as I can. Thank you all so much. God bless, and have a lovely day and evening. Cheers.